All right, very good. I'd like to first thank you all for inviting me. I'm very excited and didn't know I'd have an opportunity so quickly to work with the Venture Cafe. Um, my name is Geoff Foster. I'm the CEO and president of Core Technology Molding Corporation. I've known Nancy Johnston for quite a while now, but I think what was pretty unique is why I became an entrepreneur. And I don't think I shared that story with her. But what actually drove me to be an entrepreneur, I was an engineering student at North Carolina A&T. I actually received two degrees, an undergrad and a master's degree in applied engineering. And I was working at was AMP Incorporated in Tyco Electronics and started getting my MBA. But while I was there, I got a U.S. patent for a part I designed for Ford Motor Company. And quite honestly, I was working probably 60 hours a week, going to school at night, and really didn't know what the U.S. patent really meant. And when I was awarded a U.S. patent, um, I got a nice, nice, cute, a $99 plaque, and Ford Motor Company paid my employer $31 million. I said, wow, I think next time I come up with a unique idea, I'm going to try to use it for my company. So that really motivated me to start my own company. I worked half my career at AMP and the other half at Becton Dickinson, which is really to go under BD. And the group I was actually working with is now Corning Life Sciences. So at Corning or at BD, I was over a facility up in North Durham, Trayburn, where we did high volume Petri dishes. It was labware, DNA plates, roller bottles, and I really managed like a $125 million product line. And after 5 years of that, I said, you know what, I really want to take a leap of faith and start my own company. So that is really what drove me to start Core Technology. People ask how did I come up with the name, and it was really I just wanted to focus on my core, which was a core competency, which was injection molding. So half my year was in half my career was really automotive. The other half was, biosciences, and that's what it was, BD Biosciences. And that's really, I really got the clean room experience. So in my business plan, I always said I wanted to, do some automotive if we can get to a tier one level, as well as work in the clean room space, the biological, pharmaceutical, what we're doing now with Merck, hopefully with Pfizer and some others. But I think with my background, I felt like I was prepared to take the leap, and that's why I call this the entrepreneurial spirit. Because I tell people all the time, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. It's difficult, and when I started the company, I had two young kids, and I think it was really it's challenging because you're trying to grow a business and keep a balance with the work life, and that's always a challenge even now. So if I may, I'm going to go to a PowerPoint presentation. It's about a dozen slides, and I'll go very quickly, and just so I leave some time for questions, but I'll tell you a little bit more about Core Technology and really what we're doing, if that's okay. So Heather, I'm going to try to just pull the presentation up, or do I have to hit something else?
Just share screen at the bottom. Do you see that?
Yes, I do. It's a nice bright green. Okay. Okay. Very good. So I believe everyone can see what I'm sharing, correct? Great, great. Okay, so this is our new facility. So we had this facility built in 2018. So we've been here about a year and a half. It's about an 80,000 square foot building located next to the nanoscience. And that's where I saw Nancy Johnson last. We're next door to the Joint School of Nanoscience and Nanoengineering. So we can walk about 60 yards to the right of this photo. And we work with those guys. They do biocompatibility testing for us. They've done some 3D printing. But when the opportunity came about to have a new facility on the campus, I jumped at the opportunity just because of the, not just the location close to 85, 15 minutes from the airport. But being on the campus with UNCG and North Carolina A&T really saw us as a great opportunity to grow our business. And you'll see that we're hiring students for interns, as well as we have 3 full-time employees now that went through internships. But I get to see these students all the time, and see them add value, interview, and work with our customers. So it's I'm kind of cheating a little bit when I hire these students, because I get to see them, and you get a lot of resumes with a 4.0, but these guys can really work with our customers locally as well as globally. So they'll go to Austria, Munich, China with me, or they're still in their 20s, but they're able to really lead. So again, I think the location has really made it ideal, where it's part of the model that we're recruiting students to take leadership roles in their early 20s. So that's just a drone photo. I'll just go to the next, if I can. I probably should go to slideshow. Yes. All right, so just quickly, just the mission of the company. And I started the company in 2006, so this is our 14th year, really trying to focus on the innovation in technology and operations. We're utilizing the existing assets, business, and resources to discover new solutions by fostering the creativity of our people and our customers. And really the strategy is to build a diversified portfolio that grows across diversified markets while being competitive in all sectors. And I'm going to go to another slide soon, but you'll see about 30% of our business is as a tier 1 automotive with BMW Manufacturing. So we ship twice a week to South Carolina, Greer, South Carolina, and then we ship to Germany, China, Russia, and South Africa. So we're on every X3 and every X4 in the world. So that was the goal of the company, to be a percentage in automotive tier 1, but really trying to grow in the medical device as well as the biological pharmaceutical with Merck and others. So we're about 30% pharmaceutical or biomed, and then another 30% aerospace. So we make parts for Airbus, and then the other sectors are a little bit heavy truck. I talked a little bit about with the Volvo Mack Freightliner. We do a little consumer goods with new Rubbermaid, outdoor lawn equipment, Husqvarna, and Whirlpool with Appliance. So we're on about 4 million Whirlpool dishwashers a year. I started the company back in 2006. We've got some awards for Minority Supplier of the Year. We were in a building actually in High Point in 2012, and then we had the opportunity to build a new facility. We had a groundbreaking in 2017, and we've been in the new facility since 2018. And last year, I was really honored to be the Entrepreneur of the Year in Greensboro. We've seen significant growth, so we continue to see triple-digit growth, and we're really going after some really large customers like Merck. They're about $195 billion a year. There's a really good story recently where Merck just acquired a company that's far ahead in their clinical trials with COVID-19. So they believe they're going to be first with the vaccine for that. And I'll tell you more about vaccines in a couple of slides, just because we're doing something really neat with Merck. So this is probably 90% of our sales come from these customers. So we have the HAECO, which is actually based in the Greensboro area out of the airport, where we're making parts for Airbus. We do the BMW, we're doing Merck, Honda Jet out of the airport. PAS is a lot of Whirlpool, Kenmore KitchenAid, Parker Hannafin's heavy truck, new Rubbermaid is the take along snackers. If you go to Sam's Club or Target, we've done 16 million take along snackers. So they have a divider in them for a liquid and a salad or a dry. I mentioned that we do some heavy truck. Stevens Instruments is another medical device company where we're making contact lens cases. And then Husqvarna is outdoor lawn equipment. So we're trying to stay around the 35% in those areas, but the areas we're really growing in now is the biopharm and medical device. So next year, the biopharm is going to be about 40%, and aerospace will probably go down COVID-19 is going to be part of that, but the biopharma and medical device is really growing with our long-term contracts with Merck. When I talk about our capabilities, we're doing plastic injection molding. So two-shot is actually taking two different materials, injecting in the mold at the same time, and making a finished good. Where we're really thinking there's going to be some patentable ideas with plunger rods, with the plunger rod and the stopper in our clean room. We just got a new HP 3D printer 2 weeks ago. So we are going to be able to do prototyping in-house. It's actually pretty neat. It's a color printer. We do final assembly. We have a new ERP system where we're able to display data remotely. So actually our customers can look in on our system and see how efficient we're being, or not, but how efficient we're being, what scrap rate, what cycle times we're running at. So we're doing a lot of things kind of factory 4.0 with the artificial intelligence, doing things remotely and monitoring our processes remotely. So the timing was really great where we went live in December with our new ERP system, of course, not knowing how COVID was gonna really impact us, but so we have several employees that are able to work remotely out of IT, out of quality engineering, out of manufacturing engineering, but they can get all the same data while working at home and of course talk to customers, and we're on Zoom probably 3 hours a day. So the new ERP system has really helped us be efficient, as well as allow employees to work from home. Thank God we haven't had any cases of COVID-19, but we're taking all the precautions where we're checking temperature daily, cleaning in between each shift. We're running 5 shifts, so Monday through Friday we have 3 8-hour shifts, first, second, and third, and then on Saturday and Sunday we have 2 12-hour shifts. So they're very strict about the cleaning, checking temperatures, about allowing visitors in. We have to check your temperature. So there's a whole protocol we go through just to make our employees safe. Really the services that we provide, we can do small production runs as well as large production runs. So when I say that, we're going to produce 100 million plunger rods a year for Merck and 200 million plunger rods in 2021. So we can do small runs, but we can do large runs. So the contact lens case, for example, in the clean room, we'll do about 750,000 of those. So we consider that now a small run, where 5 years ago we would actually ship about 2 pallets a week. Now we're shipping 100 pallets a day. So that's what really forced us to look into another building, and we're looking now to expand just after 18 months into the other half of the building. Just engineering, we do product concept and design, whether it's medical device, plunger rods, or truck parts, but we have that capability with our software to design parts, and now with our new 3D printer, we can actually print parts, very quickly, and within 24 hours, ship them overnight and have them delivered to our customer. This new facility is LEED certified, which is really a feather in our cap. So when we designed the building, there were certain requirements with materials, with our lighting. So we have LED lighting in the facility. We have natural light. We recycle all of our water. So it's pretty amazing, the building, and it's very difficult to get LEED certified in a manufacturing facility. So we just received our ISO 14001, which is another certificate for environmental. So we're trying to be good stewards and reduce the carbon footprint. And that's what I tell my mother. And she said, "What does all that mean?" I said, we're just trying to do good, Mom, and we're trying not to put dirty water back into the lakes, rivers, and we're trying to consume less energy. So my mom's 80 years old. She'll ask those questions. What does that mean? This is a pretty neat printer. We just received it 2 weeks ago. So this is really state of the art, where it's one of the first color printers out on the market. So instead of just printing one color, we can print multiple colors for fixtures or anything else. So I've actually seen some pretty neat stuff where they're printing heart valves and other components for the medical space. So we're pretty excited about it, and I'm sure there's actually HP is going to do a press release next month about core technology and this new partnership we have with HP. So more to come on that. Talk a little bit about quality, which is very important, especially in the medical device space. So we have ISO 9001. We just got ISO 14001, which is environmental. We are 13485 compliant, and we will be 13485 certified first quarter of 2021. So we're working on that as we speak. We have a certified class 10,000, which is ISO 7, and class 1000 ISO 6 clean room, where we do assembly. And we have an automotive cert. We have Six Sigma black belts and green belts that we went through certification through with BMW. We have some lean manufacturing certificates, and we have some master molders in-house for scientific injection molding. So with our customers, quality is really most important. Our customers like the Mercks and other medical device, it's just, you have to be able to produce high volumes, but they have very stringent requirements for good reason for medical device. If we got dust into a plunger rod, it could actually kill a baby. So we'll do 25 million plunger rods next year just for babies alone. So for chickenpox, measles, rubella, influenza. One of the ones for my age group is very big with Merck now is shingles. So there's 8 different colors that we'll be manufacturing, and there's actually going to be 9. One of them they plan to be for COVID-19. So this is just a list of our kind of capital equipment. So we try to use the all-electric machines, which is really all you can use in a clean room. So we try to stay away from the hydraulic, the oils, the dust creation. We have 4 overhead cranes, which really makes us efficient. It's fully conditioned building, and we use a lot of robotics. So these robotics really help us what I call reshore. So a lot of the business we're taking away from China, India, and other low-cost producing countries. So it's pretty neat. 10 years ago, it was frustrating. We would lose business to these other countries, and their quality was not as good, but they could do it way cheaper. But now with the robotics, we're able to compete financially, and it's really exciting because we're taking business back to the U.S., but you really have to have automation. Without the automation, you can't compete with the labor in some of these countries. So we have 35 full-time employees, but if we didn't have all the robotics in-house, we would need 100 employees. So that can give you an idea of how efficient we are. But the robots really make it where it's repeatable. I love the robots. They don't take smoke breaks. They don't get on social media. They don't have 10 phone calls a day. I mean, the robots work efficiently, and no drama with the robots. So I know some employees get frustrated, but I tell them they don't smoke, and they stay at their workstation all the time. This is kind of a new business that we're really getting into, but I wanted to share this slide. So these are single-use assemblies for research, development, and production of biotech and pharmaceutical therapies. So we're really growing in this space where we are taking connectors, filters, silicone tubing, C-flex, and our customers are asking us to produce these in our clean room, actually really high volume, but this is for their R&D efforts when they're creating new vaccines. So this is really a new business space for us, which is pretty exciting. It's not just injection molding, but it's assembly as well. So these are products for our largest customer in the single-use space. So in the single-use space, we also make contact lens cases as well as cornea transplant for cap and jars. So it's pretty neat. Actually, in Winston-Salem, there's an eye bank. So I visited the eye bank there where, each year we're able to help give 50,000 people who are losing their vision, help them with sight. So these are corneas that are donated when someone passes away. Their family, has agreed to donate these corneas. So we make a cap and jar for that. So that's really a rewarding piece of business that we get a chance to help donate the corneas in our container, and in 48 hours they have to what they call harvest the cornea and then install it into a patient. So they put it on dry ice and they ship it all over the world. So this is actually a new piece of business we're really excited about. So these are single-use plunger rods for vaccines. So each color is for a different vaccine. The purple one on the far left is the one we're working on now for influenza. There's a green one for shingles, and there's going to be a new one for COVID-19. But these are what we are producing, almost 300,000 a day. Really high volumes, of course. Some of the colors are low volume, but some are still very high, and I'm pretty sure the COVID one's going to be 100 million as well. But these are plunger rods that we designed, and they go into a syringe. So these go to a filling line in West Point, Pennsylvania, Wilson, North Carolina, in Amsterdam, and in Japan. And then they are filled with a glass syringe. They add a rubber stopper on the end where the threads are, and the rubber stopper actually touches the fluid in the vaccine. And so these are single-use disposable, and that's another reason with the medical device I'm really enjoying the single-use, just because it really creates a lot of volume and revenue for the company. Try to get involved in the community as much as possible. Oak Hill Elementary is one local school that really, quite honestly, quite a bit of poverty in Guilford County, and we invite these students who want to be STEM. So these young guys, and I say young guys and women, very few women, unfortunately. So we really try to encourage the women in STEM. But these young guys really wanted to. They're STEM oriented, and they're really good students. They're actually holding a Rubbermaid take-along snacker. So you may have seen those before, but they actually watched the process where we took a raw pellet, heated it up, and converted it into a finished good. So they love that because the robot, of course, they like to see that. So the robot they see really correlates with the geometry that they're learning with the X, Y, and Z axis. So we try to make it as fun as possible and help them understand that there is a correlation between what they're learning, because they think it's for nothing, but there is some correlation if they want to be a STEM student. So we try to do as much as that, not just the elementary, but the high school students. So we are Guilford County Schools STEM partner. So students, parents, facilitators from all over Guilford County come into our facility, do tours. We invite the parents. A lot of the parents really, when they hear manufacturing, they cringe. They think that it's dirty, it's sweaty work, it's going to Mexico, and they have different perceptions, and unfortunately they pass that on to their children. So when they see their children in the clean room with a cap and gown on and booties, and it's dust free, they realize that there's more to manufacturing and STEM than just they think tobacco, furniture, those industries that have left North Carolina. So I think it's really important that we help educate the community. So again, this is our new facility, and I always like to leave room for time for questions. That's just one of our newer pieces of equipment that we are running 24/7 for parts for BMW. So I try to leave some time for questions. So I'm done sharing. I just hit this.
Yeah, thank you, Geoff. We have a number of questions and comments in the chat. So if you guys want to just unmute and ask those questions or comments, feel free to. If not, either Geoff or I can look through the chat.
All right. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect that many questions. All right. I'm going to try to get down to the first one.
Well, while you're scrolling, Jeff, hi,
Okay.
this is Karen. I am the executive director of Venture Cafe Winston-Salem. I am blown away. You and your company are incredibly impressive, and congratulations on all your success. Like how I just didn't know about you is now, blowing my mind cool, because I'm now going, oh, I need to connect Jeff with this person and this person and this person and this person.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate that. And we're hearing more and more of that. And I guess it was kind of surprising after 14 years, a lot of people did not know what we were doing or that we were even in Greensboro, or, some of them thought we were, making widgets. And there's nothing wrong with widgets, but I think we're making parts that touch 100 million people a year that are, very critical. So I appreciate your comments, and I know of Cook Medical. Don't know anyone who works there, but yeah. So those are people we would love to have conversations, because we believe we can be very strategic and work together, not as competitors, but we can help provide maybe product or make introductions with Cook Medical and others. So thank you for your comments. I see Susan asked a question about the ERP system, and I should have mentioned it. It's IQMS. So it is probably the best investment we made last year. It's one of the leading ERP systems for manufacturing, especially for plastic. IQMS, they actually wrote a story about us in Forbes magazine last month, just how much value it can provide, how much data even with the maintenance, is telling us when it's time to do a mold repair or cleaning. So having that information, and it pops up on a screen where everyone can see it, almost like you get a nag light, in your car telling you, hey, you're at 10,000 miles, you need to get this done, you need to check your brakes. We have that. So that's very important for our customers. So if you can imagine, if you're making 300,000 plunger rods a day and you go, over a certain number, you're not going to get the same quality plunger rods. And that could negatively impact a patient, and it could hurt somebody. So it's important that we have those tools in place. So again, the ERP system is IQMS. I see Nancy's asking about prototypes. So we're able to do prototypes, especially with our new printer, but we can do very low volumes, one or two, up to thousands. I think the question is, what's the smallest run we anticipate? I think the smallest one will probably be 3 to 5 pieces, where I think a customer might want to, or it might be a launch, it might be a startup where they need 3 to 5 pieces to show to an investor, to show to a bank. I've learned that it's a lot easier to get a loan when someone can show, touch, feel it. So I think the 3D printing is going to help a lot of ideas come to life, where years ago someone might have a great idea and they couldn't provide a part to show an investor. They can just show them on paper, and people say, that's cute, that's a nice idea, but I really can't touch it. So I think what I've seen is, with the 3D printing, it's a lot easier to get buy-in, not just from your partners, but potential lenders. So I'm excited about that. So I think it's going to help a lot of entrepreneurs who have great ideas but never had a way to present a part. I see another comment from Karen about
Yes, because what you just said makes me so happy, Jeff.
good.
There's a I'm going to send about 1,000 people your way. I'm just going to warn you now. I'm going to blow up your inbox.
Okay.
And that's the kind of friendship that we're going to have.
Good.
So there is a young entrepreneur in our ecosystem who is working on some prototypes for foot insoles. And he has developed the technology to scan the bottom of your foot. And then he wants to be able to 3D print custom orthotics that'll be much cheaper and much faster than the traditional way of doing that. And he has been struggling to find a way to find the funds to get his own 3D printer. And so I will connect you with him offline. I'm also happy to make introductions with Cook Medical, as well as any of the maker spaces around town that are working with entrepreneurs who want to make prototypes and may not be able to take it to a small production run in the
Right.
maker spaces. So you've blown my mind today, Geoff. It's great.
Very good. That's great to hear. And I think the entrepreneur you're referring to about the prototype, I think it's a great idea. Being able to scan in the morning and we can print parts by 12 o'clock. I think it's going to be a pretty neat business model where customers, instead of going to a doctor and they tell you got to wait a month, we can print parts out the same day. And if he scanned it, we can print it and deliver it, overnight, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's exciting. I think Nike's trying to do some things like that, but I don't think they have it all figured out, quite honestly. So I would love to make that introduction, or you make the introduction. And Nancy, I will share the press release with North Carolina Biotech. And I got to ask Teddy. Teddy's asking me, do they smile and laugh? So is that because I'm not smiling, Teddy?
That was during the robotics part, if I'm not mistaken, when you were talking about the benefits of the robots.
So you found it funny. Okay. I think, yeah, there are a lot of benefits of the robot. So the piece that I have to remind others, because, robotics are expensive. However, they provide reliability where they're doing it the same way every time. You're not as worried about someone touching it that could, hands could be contaminated, but it's repeatable. And so I do love the robots, and they are consistent. Some people get a little frustrated with me when I make the smoking comment, but they don't take the breaks. So I think it's pretty cool. Nancy's asking about how are employees engaging with the robotics. Actually, the employees love it because they don't feel threatened. They realize it makes their work easier. But what I like about it is we're starting to train people who have a high school education how to use the robots. So quite honestly, after they figure out the X, Y, and Z axis, and they're able to take measurements, they're able to do some programming where every mold is different, but they are able to make the calculations where, they are not bending over, picking up parts, the robot's helping them. Actually, the robot even counts. So they're not worried about having a over or short on their inventory or their production numbers, because the robot's helping them. But I think they're really excited because it's jobs that are not going away versus the very labor intense jobs. Quite honestly, they're going to low cost producing countries. And when we can do something technically better, faster, those are the job security you're really looking for. So, we're not seeing the layoffs in these industries, and with the clean room manufacturing, those jobs are not leaving here. They're actually, especially with COVID, these jobs are growing where we can't find enough people right now. So we're interviewing all the time, trying to find more people, especially ones that have been possibly laid off or displaced from other the tobacco or furniture or some of the other industries that have left North Carolina. So the employers are actually enjoying it. And I say that the ones who master it, they actually make more money. So we're able to pay someone who was initially just putting parts in the box. We're able to pay them more because they can program the robot. So actually, I think the employees love it because they see some benefit, and it provides them a higher quality of work, and they understand that we're able to keep jobs here when we can do it cheaper. And yes, it is amazing about those who are losing sight or lost sight. So when I was a kid, I would see someone with possibly a blue cornea or a green cornea or orange cornea and a brown cornea. And I never asked, of course, but I never understood, you know, that's strange. I have two brown eyes. Why? But what I've learned is a lot of those are cornea transplants. So they were losing their vision. And really, I guess when you're losing your vision, you don't care what color your cornea is. You just want a cornea so you can see. So it's pretty neat to watch. And I say, just don't go before lunch. I actually went to see the harvest, and yeah, I lost my appetite, but it was pretty cool to see just that, you know, they're taking this cornea that was in someone 48 hours ago, putting it on ice and shipping it all over the world. So this person has vision. So I understand now a lot of those where I saw a mismatch in the cornea. I understand now they had cornea transplant, but they're able to have vision for the rest of their life because someone was, you know, gracious enough. And quite honestly, I was not a donor on my license until I actually saw that. So now I'm a donor on my license because I realized how impactful that is to someone's loved one, not just to give up their cornea, but to help someone see for the rest of their life. So it's pretty cool, and I love, you know, what we're doing for BMW and others, but I think that's kind of some of the most impactful stuff where we're able to play a small part in giving someone vision. That the cornea cap and jar used to be a glass cap and jar for Bausch and Lomb, and we were able to convert the glass to a plastic single-use acrylic. So I see there was a couple comments about that. Are we connected with any of the local maker spaces? So I have to say no, and that's Karen asked that. So Karen, you're going to make that introduction on the local maker spaces also? I see you giving thumbs up. Yeah, that's a yes. Okay, very good.
Jeff,
So
I
yeah,
am an Uber connector. It's kind of my superpower. I think your superpower is inventing things and growing things to awesomeness. My superpower is connecting people. So you're now in the circle, and it's going to be fun.
good, good. Yeah, so I've heard about the local maker spaces, but no, we are not involved in it. So I see Atkins Academy and Technology School. They're presenting at 7 o'clock tonight. You want to work with them at all? So sure, I'd love to. I don't know anything, Susan, about Atkins. I'm assuming maybe they're in Winston or.
They are. They are the magnet school for technology, engineering, biotech, and their staff, and then two students who just graduated from their program are going to be presenting here tonight at 7. So this is kind of the introduction at this school. They introduce the students as freshmen to the different technologies and career paths that they can go to when they're involved with the STEM programs. So we have, 3 of the instructors and then 2 students who are going to be presenting. So if you're, eating dinner at home at 7 o'clock and want to join our Zoom meeting, then I can, send you the link for that. But truly, their school is absolutely incredible with the 3D printers and the labs that they have, and their instructors usually come from business and then become instructors.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great program.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd like to just make that introduction. So we don't work with any schools in Forsyth County, so that would be nice also. So we work with there's a school, a magnet school in Raleigh. So we go with Raleigh, Guilford County, but that would be nice to have a school in Winston-Salem. So yeah, please make the introduction, and hopefully after COVID, we can possibly get them here for a tour, maybe in the fall, or at their convenience. But I think they would enjoy seeing the manufacturing, seeing the clean room, seeing assembly and 3D printing. So yeah, please feel free to make that introduction, and you can send me that link for 7 o'clock.
I would also enjoy that tour, so I would like to come as well.
Sure. Yeah, we love to do it, and we usually do. I guess before COVID, we probably did at least a dozen tours a year, from elementary, middle school, high school, college, even some summer school we've done where I think it gave the teachers a break, quite honestly. They looked really stressed when they got here. So I think it was, we do it quite a bit. I guess this year with COVID, we haven't had a chance to do that. So yeah, please make that introduction. And of course, you're always welcome. And, Karen, we love advanced manufacturing. So we're not having the talent recruitment issues, and I say that with professionals. So I didn't plan on doing it, I guess, but I guess 14 years ago, I was offered a job as an adjunct professor at North Carolina A&T. So I teach in the applied engineering department. So I teach one class now. I used to do 2 classes. So I teach composites, polymers, asset maintenance. But in these courses, I get to see 100 of the sharpest students every year. So I have a pipeline of technical students that really are strong academically, but they present well. I joke, but they play well together. So, of course, we get some students who have great GPAs, but they kind of want to outshine everyone else in the group. And I just know they're not going to be a good team player. So I get to kind of cherry pick the best students. However, the challenge we're having now is finding hourly employees with some of the incentives to, I'm going to say, stay at home. It's a lot tougher to get hourly employees right now with the unemployment benefits. I'm going to scroll down, but yes, we believe that prototyping is very important, especially for startups. The companies that build the robots are mostly Japanese. So they are from Japan, Yushin, Whitman, but all the robot manufacturers, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, they're not US based. So I just saw a midsole, Nancy, Adidas, you're saying has 3D printing midsole customized for athletes. Well, I knew Nike was trying to do that, but I think their lead time is really, from what I'm hearing, after someone looks at the foot, does a scan, it could take 2 to 3 months to get your insoles. And I think that's the kind of the value of working with a small company where you can turn that around very quickly. So I think Karen, you had someone, I believe, a startup. I think his niche would be he could scan it and have you a new insole tomorrow. So I do think we can work together, and I think I can help add some value if that's what his goal is. I see Russ sent something. So what type of credentials do employees need to have? And I think, Russ, for our professionals, we're looking for someone with a BS in manufacturing or applied engineering or mechanical, industrial engineering. But, we only have about 7 of those. So we need more people who have manufacturing experience, whether it's light assembly, but, working in an environment that's clean, that's safe. I think some of those credentials are not as easy to find, where unfortunately I think a lot of the manufacturing that has been done in the area might not be in a clean environment. So teaching, good manufacturing practices and that. So I'm not sure if I answered that, Russ, or you want to add to that.
Hey, Geoff.
Yes, sir.
I was with you. I was with Nancy the day we met you. So.
Yeah, I recognized you. Yes.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, I think you answered my question really well. We work at a 2-year school, right? So,
right.
We're always seeking opportunities for people that don't necessarily have a 4-year degree, and a lot of companies, don't really understand how good advanced manufacturing skills are taught at the community college level. So that was kind of where my question was coming from.
Right. So I think we need to stay in touch, Russ, just because as we grow in this space, we're needing a lot of, in the near future, that don't necessarily have a 4-year degree, but they are interested in working in a clean room and they have a basic understanding. So in the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to be hiring people in that space. So if you would, let's stay in touch. Yeah, I remember meeting you, it might have been in nanoscience, but I do remember meeting you in the last year. So please stay in touch because I'd like to get some resumes if at all possible.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Sure. And I see a few Karen and others. Maybe Karen or Nancy or someone can help coordinate a tour. And Susan, you and I like to get you all in, but if we can kind of coordinate it, it'll be smoother if possible. Okay.
Is there an ideal number of people? Like, I know that there were several children in the picture, but as far as, and obviously this will be after COVID, but is
Right.
usually like a group of 10 the best or something like
Right.
that?
Right. So we try to keep it at around 20, 25 max. And if
Okay.
we had 25, we would break it up into two groups of 12 or 10, 12. And then we would have one group go one way, another group go another way, and then we'd meet at the end and ask questions and answers in our boardroom. But yeah, in the 20 to 25 range will be good. So keep that in mind, please. Okay. All right. I believe I've answered the question, or I tried to. So I really want to thank you all for inviting me. I really feel honored to have had a chance to do this, and hopefully make some good connections. And I know Karen has some introductions you're going to make, and hopefully we can help one of your entrepreneurs. And Russ, please stay in touch. I'd love to get some resumes because Merck is really pushing us to grow in this space. And our toughest challenge now is finding someone who does not have a degree, but they do have some manufacturing experience. I'm trying to find someone who's worked in a clean room. It's not so easy to find. So please stay in touch.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Geoff.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And we do want to thank Nancy Johnston from the North Carolina Biotechnology Center and Cook Medical. Scott Sewell, we are sponsored by them. They are sponsoring our BioConnect night tonight. So we are really excited about that and incredibly grateful for this session and Nancy's introduction to Geoff. So she is an amazing resource. So thank you, Nancy Johnston. And Geoff, this was amazing. I learned so much. I'm really excited to see it in person.
Great.
And Karen and I and a lot of people on this call are great about making connections and know different aspects and circles in the community. So I mean, I'm glad that you got the contract with Volvo. That would have been a contact that I could have helped with maybe, or at least put you in touch, but you
Sure.
made that connection on your own. So great job. But thank you so much. This was amazing. I learned a lot.
Very good. Thanks
Yeah,
again. And, thank you, Nancy, as well. Thank you.
And Geoff, if you want to provide your email in the chat, if you would like, that
Sure.
way everyone here can send helpful information your way. But yeah, it
Sure.
was so informative. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. And you guys are exciting. And I think you'll enjoy a tour here. And it'll probably open up some more opportunities for students or others that we might be able to form a partnership. All right.
Oh my gosh, Geoff, you are my new best friend. Susan's been chatting me privately. She's like, I love Geoff. And I'm like, I love Geoff more. And then Nancy's texting me. She's like, I can't believe I haven't introduced you to Geoff yet. And I'm like, I know, I can never talk to you again. So the secret's out now, Geoff.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you for your support. I appreciate it.
All right, take good care. Stay safe.
All right, you too. Thank you.